welcome and welcome back to my channel. I am Alika, and today we are talking about my reading ins and outs of 2025, reading goals for 2024, all the things ending this year and hopping into next year. Now, I will say, y'all not gonna catch my top 10 of 2024 until the 31st, because babe, what if I read something spectacular in between the time this video is posted and then you never know. But as far as 2024 goes, I set a super low, for me, reading goal of 100 books because I wanted to focus this year on the quality of books that I was reading over the quantity. Like, I really wanted to get back into not so much reading to keep up with the masses, but my actual love of reading. I did end up hitting the 100 books goal. I think Storygraph says I read 180. No, yeah, Storygraph says 180. Goodreads says 120. No, 160. Sorry. And I don't know why there's such a big discrepancy between those two. Now, there's always a discrepancy between my Storygraph and my Goodreads, probably because I'm more likely to track my paperbacks on Storygraph than I am to go back and put them on Goodreads. But that's neither here nor there. And then as far as like the other goals, I wanted to read more diversely. I didn't really do that. I did read a thriller this year, which was big for me because sis is not a thriller girly. And I realized that I do enjoy them. I just, I be needing to know what happened. Like, I don't be wanting to wait until the end of the book to figure out who did it, why they did it, all the things. I did dive more into romantic suspense this year, which is, it ain't thriller. So I don't really count it as reading diversely. It's more reading diversely within the genre. I did read some new to me authors this year, which is always something that I try to do. I didn't do it as much as I wanted to, or as much as the goal I had really set aloud, just because I get stuck in my author bubbles. Like, I get stuck in these places where I read my comfort authors because I know the books are going to be good because they don't miss to me. And B, that's like I'm reading what I know that I'm going to enjoy. That's part of the whole point. So, with that being said, let's move into the things I'm taking out of my reading moving into 2025. I did a lot of ARCs this year. Most of my reading was ARC books this year. And I want to do less ARCs because one, a lot of the ARCs that I read this year, they were good. Like, don't get me wrong. But I got so caught up in arcs that I didn't really get to explore as much as I really would have wanted to, which isn't anybody's fault but my own, because I see a pretty cover, I'm gonna request the arc, or I'm gonna ask to be a part of the arc team. That's a me thing, not a anybody else thing. So I'm definitely gonna slow down on that. And also, I don't want to overwhelm myself with arcs because I'll get into this space where I have so many arcs that I have to read by a certain time that now I'm overwhelmed and now I shut down. And that's not helpful to anybody because now I can't read, and then I'm getting closer and closer to publication date, and the whole point of an advanced reader copy is to read it before publication date and post the review before publication date. So definitely want to slow down on arcs. One thing I really want to try to heavily focus on is not being so much stuck in my little author bubble. Like, I have my favorites, everybody has their favorites, but I will get so caught up in trying to read their backlist that I won't really read anything new to me, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of like reading and exploring and things like that. Because I definitely want to find, there's so many authors. There's so many authors that I haven't read. There's so many books I haven't read. I might find a new favorite in that time. And I did that this year. I did find an author that I absolutely adore. I found a couple actually that I absolutely adored and loved and want to get more into their catalogs next year. So yeah, those are my outs. And let's talk about my 2025 reading goals. I have them right here because I will forget. So, first and foremost, I want to track my reading more consistently. I am moving away from Goodreads. It'll never be a complete move away because it's always attached to my Kindle and it's going to track regardless. So, that'll still be there. But I want to heavily focus on Storygraph and Fable. And I want to make sure that I'm tracking on those apps every day. Like, that's really what I want to focus on because I don't want there to be such big discrepancies between how many books I read, like there was this year and the year before. So yeah, we're gonna track our reading consistently. I already said I want to do less ARC requests. I'm gonna stop asking for books that I may or may not read just because the cover is pretty. We're gonna stop that in 2025. Read all unread books on my shelf. If you've been watching, I've started this series called Shelf Control, where I find some fun little way to pick a book on my shelf that I haven't read yet that I want to read. And so we're going to continue with that series. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get all of the unread books on my shelves, ew, read, if not by the end of 2025, early into 2026. Because your girl has an insane amount of unread books on her shelf. And we got to fix that because that is a problem. Because this overconsumption I have with books is sickening. Explore more new to me authors. We talked about that. I kind of want to set a number goal for how many new to me authors I want to read each month. But when I do that, I don't ever really hit it. And because I don't know why. I don't know how my brain works when it comes to that. But yeah. And then last but not least, record reviews upon completion. I got away from that this year and I ended up backlogged. Like there's still books that I read that I haven't put up reviews for on any platform. And that's, being, probably should do that. But I don't, at this point, it's so far gone that I may just pop the book up and be like, ooh, I like this book. But yeah, I want to get back to recording reviews as soon as the book is done to make sure that I remember enough about the book that I can accurately review it and that I could, let y'all know what it was about the book I actually liked and not so much just I liked the book. So, my ends for 2025 as far as reading goes, I want to use my reading journal. I got this really cute one from Danielle. It's the Reading Sentiments Journal. Got it last year, well, early this year. It is by far my favorite reading journal. It is digital, and I think I stopped using it maybe March. Maybe March. And then I tried again in like July and I just wasn't consistent, but I really want to be consistent with it because I love like the reading journal. I have seen some people post theirs and they're so cute. Like the way they do my brain, the collages and stuff. I do want to get better at I definitely want to get better at doing like collages and stuff, even if I don't post them anywhere, because they're really cute and I love that. So, yeah, those are my reading goals for 2025, things I want to do, things I want to stop doing. Let me know in the comments what your reading goals are and all the things. Before we end this video, I just want to say, y'all notice I didn't set a number reading goal for next year because I don't really want to. I just want to read for the vibes. Like, I don't care about how many books I read. Like, it's cool to see at the end of the year if you hit said goal, which I might just make it one. It's really cool to look back and see how many books you did read. But for me, I want it to be like, how many of those books did I like really, really love? How many of them did I really remember? How many really resonated with me? Not so much how many did I read overall over the course of the year. But yeah, definitely let me know your 2025 reading goals in the comments. And y'all know how this goes. Bye.